What is up, guys? Chris here, the Unprofessional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. Recently, I put out a couple of videos where I was showing you some different folders that were great options for different types of tasks. I put out a video about folders that were great for lightweight EDC tasks, slicey task, food prep, cutting cardboard, opening packages, stuff like that. I put out a video with some really good options that were for hard use. Beater knives that you could just thrash and beat on and they would just shake it off and continue going because of how well they were built. Had a couple of requests for some fixed blade, EDC fixed blades that you could use for more hard use tasks. So here we are. Now here's the thing. There's so many daggone fixed blades out there, and there are a ton of options out there on the market that you can get. So I'm just showing you a couple of mine. These aren't all of them. These aren't, you probably have a lot that I don't have of other types of fixed blades that are really good beater knives. Now I'm trying to keep these as low as possible. The folders I wanted to keep around $50 or under to show some budget options. And I was also going to do a video later of some premium beater options. These aren't $50 and under because it's hard to keep that price when you're talking fixed blades. So they are well under $100, well under $100, but there are some scattered prices. And there's only a couple knives I'm going to show you. These are knives though, if they're outdoor camping knives and stuff like that, I didn't put them in this because they're supposed to be tough. So if they're camping knives that you can EDC, I didn't list them. But if they're EDC knives that you can take camping, I probably listed them. They're slicey EDC fixed blades, but these are knives that you can beat on. Now, at the very end, we're going to talk about this right here. Brad is a really good friend to the channel. He does a lot of Cerakote work. Most of us in the community know him. He recently sent me this knife because he wanted me to check it out. I'm going to be sending it back to him later today. He has dipped his toes into starting to make knives, and he's got several available right now on his website. I know somebody in the community right now who has a couple of his knives, and I'm going to wait and hear back from them how well they perform and different things like that. But we're going to talk here at the very end a few minutes about this really cool knife. This is the Toxic Dark Horse. Brad's got a passion. I love that. He's starting to take the bull by the horn, so to speak. It's the hardest step is always that first step. And he's taken that first step. And I applaud him and commend him. So we're going to check out the Toxic Dark Horse here at the very end. We're going to go over it, and then I'm going to link all the information to where you can find Brad and all of his cool knives, and you can check them out for yourself. Maybe he's got one or two that you like, and check them out and go from there. All right, so the very first knife I'm going to show you, we're going to start this off really good. We're going to start it off with a bang, and we're going to talk about the Kizer Smolt. Now, it's impossible to talk about EDC fixed blades and not talk about Kizer because they just have so many daggone really good EDC knives, especially fixed blades. They have a ton of them. They have a lot of good small EDC fixed blades, slicey EDC fixed blades. For instance, all right, I just got this in. Haven't done a video on it yet. This is the beg lighter, and this is slicey as all get out. But I wouldn't use this for hard use beater stuff. The Smolt I would. Now, the Smolt comes with a pancaked Kydex sheath, of course. It does have a T-clip on the back, so you can carry a cross-draw appendix or anything like that. But the biggest reason why this is such a good knife for a beater knife, right there, 3V blade steel. I've seen videos where they put this through nails. And really quick, just to touch on that, that's kind of a smoke and mirrors. There's a large channel, I can't remember what his name is, but he's a large channel. Trust me, most of you all know exactly who it is, and if I told you his name, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know that channel. He talks about knives, and he does a lot of sharpening knife videos. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He took a butter knife, literally a butter knife, and he ground down the handle, not the blade part, the handle, and put an edge on it. Not a sharp edge, but just a geometrical edge. And he hammered it through a nail. And he did that to show you, well, show the community that watched, it's not about how sharp it is. It's not about the blade steel. It's not about how hard it is, the hardness on the Rockwell chart. It's about the geometry of the knife. So if you have the right geometry, you can do things like that. So it is a little bit of smoke and mirrors, but they have put 3V through tons of nails and it still holds its edge pretty good. Now that's different, and that's saying something. You can beat on this knife. It's black coated, so it's going to be pretty good on corrosion resistance. Has G10 handles with micarta inserts. Straight neutral lines that I love, so it allows you to hold the knife neutrally however you want and change up your grip. Got good jimping up here on top, and it's aggressive for your thumb. You get good traction. All in all, I would like some type of a finger choil on this because it is so small and my hands are so big. So it's hard for me to do a lot of hard use because I'm afraid my fingers are going to slide up and slip. I mean, I cut myself constantly on these knives, and so either a guard or something. But this just doesn't have it, and it is what it is. But I would have no problem taking this onto a job site, beating on it, batoning on it, taking it camping and batoning, doing some wood prep. But you could also do food prep with this. I literally just cut a sword out of a cardboard with this knife a while ago for Elijah. So you can do anything, and it's a razor blade, just goes right through it. So the Smolt. Now the Smolt is a sub 3-inch blade. That's another positive thing for people that don't like carrying knives over 3 inches. This is knives with over a 3-inch blade, I should say. So sub 3-inch blade, 3V blade steel, black coated. All in all, just a fantastic knife, and the Smolt is coming in right around $69. And you might be able to get that more affordable on Amazon. I will link the most affordable link below. Now, the next one I want to talk about, let's talk about this one. This is a good one. This is an Eafengrow. The reason I wanted to put this on here is because when we're talking budget knives, let's really talk budget knives. And Eafengrow is a great budget option. Not everybody likes Eafengrow. Not everybody likes it. It's an Amazon knife. Well, they're not Amazon knives, but you can buy them on Amazon. This right here is around $28. So it's not gonna. It's a crap knife compared to ESEE. It's a crap knife compared to Tops. It's a crap knife compared to Lion Steel, TJ Schwartz. On and on and on. The Benchmade Adamas, we can keep going. It's a crap knife compared to those. But compared to a $27 knife, it's a great knife. It's a fantastic knife. I mean, this thing is awesome. It's all relative. If you compare it, well, that's not a great EDC knife. I've got a ton of knives over here that blow that one away, and yeah, and then they're talking like a $200 knife. Well, apples to oranges there. This is a $27, $28 knife. It's in D2. It's a smaller sub 3-inch blade. It has excellent jimping that's extremely aggressive. Really nice G10 handles with these red liners. Full tang. It does have a lanyard hole down here. Great. I mean, I do wish that it was it's a little blocky. The handle is a little blocky with some aggressive angles on it's just blocky. You understand what that means. So if you were going to get this and you really wanted to carry it a lot, just take some sandpaper or something like that, a file, and just file down these around these corners a little bit, and it'll feel great in hand because it's big enough for a good small EDC. And this is an EDC knife. That's what this is meant for. This is an EDC fixed blade, a small EDC fixed blade. It has the little pinch grips right here, so you can do those fine precision cuts and slices. A sharp piercing tip, a good flat grind. It does have a swedge here on top. Black coated D2. D2 is a phenomenal beater blade steel. It's a tool steel, so you can beat on it. You can baton on it. You can cut rope and cordage. Do whatever you need to. And dig with it. Use it like a chisel. You're not supposed to use your knives for that. But here's the thing. It's a $28 knife. So if it does snap or break, which it won't, but if it does, it's not that hard to replace. If you lose it, it's not that hard to replace. It does come with a tacoed Kydex sheath and a larger T-clip. Again, cross draw, vertical draw, whatever you want, appendix carry, however you want to carry it. Great knife for a beater knife. This is an EDC. The EDC is in this knife's DNA. But sorry, the boys are in there roughhousing. It's a Saturday. What can I say? DNA of this knife is EDC, but you can take this to the woods and go camping with it. You can take this onto a job site and cut 2x4s and carve knots out of wood or whatever, or sit and carve wood. But you can also make lunch with it at lunchtime, whatever. Great knife. $28. Links in the description below for all these knives. Great knives. Here's a good one for you. This is a knife that people love. This is the Izula, the ESEE Izula. Now, here's the deal. I said a while ago, if it was a camping knife that you could EDC, I wasn't going to list it. This is the ESEE Izula. This, in my opinion, is not a camping knife. This is an EDC knife that ESEE makes that happens to be good at camping. But the majority of people that use the ESEE Izula do not use it as a camping knife. They use it as an EDC knife. People have handles on these. There's a ton of different versions. The Izula 2, there's a ton of versions of it, and with handles and colors and stuff. And these are EDC knives, neck knives, whatever you want to use them as. They're fantastic knives. Now, this is the Blade HQ exclusive Fire Ant Red. Has good jimping on top. Not a lot of jimping, but it is a little stretch of jimping, just enough for to get a little traction. This is skeletonized, of course. You can put scales on it if you want. I don't put, I don't alter my knives too much. However they come, that's how they stay. Usually, you all know that. But decent ergonomics. Decent ergonomics. It is similar to this. It is similar to that. Just a little bit more rounded. Very good sharp piercing tip. Good flat grind. Now this has got that ceramic paint coating, so that's textured. You can feel the texture in it a lot. Extremely sharp. Now here's the deal. This is $10.95. And $10.95 is a fantastic, this is a great knife. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to say something about $10.95. It does come with a belt clip and stuff. When I bought this, you could either buy the knife as it is, or you could buy the kit. And the kit comes with the stuff to make it a neck knife. It has the extra stuff to where you can make it a belt and everything. It comes with a bunch of different stuff. I bought the kit. It was only $10 more. I would use it as a neck knife. And if I was on a job site or something, just pull it off and use it as a knife for whatever I needed. And it's super tough and durable. Now, here's the deal. It is $10.95. And I want to say something about $10.95 really quick. I've heard several people say that $10.95, that ain't a good blade steel. That's a weak blade steel. That's not a tough blade steel. When people say that's not a tough blade steel, well, yeah, same story as this. When you're comparing $10.95 to 20 CV, to Rex 121, to MagnaCut, LMAX, S35VN, S45VN, all those, absolutely, it's not a tough blade steel. Oh, it's not very hard, it's soft. Ain't that exactly what $10.95 is supposed to be? It's supposed to be a softer blade steel. That's why it's so easy to sharpen. People saying that $10.95 is, lost my train of thought for a minute. People saying that $10.95 is not a tough blade steel is like somebody in a Ferrari at a stoplight looking over at somebody in a brand new souped up Camaro and saying, that's a slow car. Well, yeah, compared to the Ferrari it is. But to anybody else, that's a super fast daggone car. It's relative. It's perspective. Apples to oranges. Do you know who uses $10.95 in their knives? Tops. What kind of reputation does Tops knives have? Pretty good, don't they? Do you hear about a lot of tops knives snapping in half, breaking, chipping? Nope. And what blade steel do they use more than anything else? 1095. What knife blade steel does ESEE use a lot? 1095. What type of reputation does ESEE have? Fantastic. Do you hear about a lot of ESEE knives breaking in half? Nope. There's a reason that Spartan blades back here. I can go on. There's a Straup. So many daggone knife brands use 1095 in their blade steels because it is exactly designed to be beat on. It's not a super hard steel, but that's why it takes the abuse of beating on it. That's why it's a good hard use blade steel, because you can beat on it because it does have a softer integrity to it. It's also why it's easier to sharpen, and it's a great blade steel for beginners. 1095, people keep talking about 1095 not being this good blade steel, and I'm like, what are you talking about? How many top tier, highly respected knife brands use 1095? Do they not care about their reputation? Are they risking their reputation as a knife brand to risk it on some crappy blade steel that's going to break and snap and not be very good and tarnish their name? Well, if not, then why are they using 1095? Oh, because they trust 1095 to be a really good beater blade that you can beat on, that you can chop with, that you can do all the things that we're talking about being a beater knife, a hard use knife. 1095, and I am getting on a tangent here because people keep saying that about 1095, and I don't understand what the heck they're saying. I really don't. Yes, it is a crap blade steel compared to S35VN, to MagnaCut. But it's a high carbon blade steel designed for beater stuff, not designed for edge retention. If you want edge retention, you got to go somewhere else. But if you're going for edge retention, a lot of times you have to sacrifice the beating on it, the hard use, the toughness. S90V, would you take that to the woods and beat on it? Probably not. It's probably going to chip, crack, snap, So it's kind of that, the balance thing. You got to go for what you want. All right, I'm off my tangent. 1095 is a fantastic beater knife blade steel, and ESEE uses 1095 and they do a great job. And the great thing about this is it has a warranty that's second to none. If you snap or break this, you send it in, no questions asked, they send you one back. If you break it on purpose, intentionally, just to do it, you don't have to tell them, they won't ask, they don't care. Their opinion is this: if you can break our knives, you deserve another knife. So let us know that you broke it. We'll send you a new one. That's how good their warranties are, because they trust their knives. Oh, and what blade steel do they use? That's right, 1095. No, they do use others. I got a SE4 back here, S35VN and stuff. So they do use other blade steels as well. But 1095 is really good. Here's a really good knife. This is probably the best well-rounded knife on the table for EDC compared to hard use beater knives. Other ones are really good at both as well. But this one I just have a special place in my heart for. This is the Tenable Tiny Dancer. Green micarta scales, pretty good ergonomics. It is a smaller knife. Now I do have a good 4-finger grip, but if I can't hand it all, it becomes, well, it's still 4-finger grip. It's pretty good. Pretty good size to be a smaller knife. It's just over, it's 3.17 inches on the blade, so it's just over 3 inches. This has a harpoon style blade with a really nice swedge for stabbing, piercing, poking, whatever. It's got a really nice full tang with a little thumb spot ramp, whatever you want to call it, right there for your. Now there's no jimping or anything, but because of this little harpoon edge right there, your thumb nestles in really nice. All in all, great ergos. It's got a really nice sharpening tool. You can't really use that like a finger tool. It's just not big enough, but nice sharpening tool. This is D2, black coated D2. This is a EDC knife, 100%. This is a knife for EDC. That's what it's meant for. It's what it's made for. This is an EDC knife. Has a taco kydex sheath with a 90 degrees swivel belt loop. 90 degrees, not 180 degrees, just 90. So you can do the vertical side hip draw or whatever, or you can carry it on your back or appendix, you know, cross draw, whatever. So it does have a 90 degrees. So it's very handy like that, very versatile. But this being the shape and the size, it's just a great EDC knife. Again, I apologize, they're in there tearing the house down, fighting and stuff. But it's also really good for hard use because it's D2. Hold on a second, buddy. I'll be right there. All right, tell him to give it back. I'll be right there. Fighting over phones like always. But it is a hard use knife because it's D2. You can take this to the woods. You can cut cordage with it. You can baton with it, whatever you want. This is a really good hard use knife. This is a good knife that you could take onto a job site, construction, machine shop, wherever. And just, you're going to come across little things that you need to do with your knife and, you know, get dirty and grimy and you know, whatever. This is going to be a great knife. And the price, I mean, what is the Tiny Dancer coming in at? $55? It's a great price. And Tenable does a really good job with their stuff. Great knife. D2, tough beater knife. Last knife I'm going to show you is this right here. This is the best ergos on the table, hands down, no question. The best ergonomics by far. Has a pancake kydex sheath. It has a massive T-clip. This is the Rosecraft F1. This is a cool daggone knife. I love this knife. Now, I got this in Atlanta when I was there talking with them. I talked to them about this knife and their designs and their thoughts going into this. This is a knife that you could take to the woods. You could use as a camping knife and stuff like that. But it looks like it does because it is not a camping knife. This is an EDC knife. This is a really cool knife. It has G10 handles, full tang with the red spacers, has a spot for a lanyard, an excellent jimped thumb ramp right there, and it also has jimping on the spine in a couple different spots so that you can do different types of cuts and slices. Very slicey. 1095 PVD coated blade. PVD coated. The ergos on this are what sets apart. I will say this, hands down, one thing that I love about Rosecraft blades isn't just the price. You get a really good fit and finish and quality for the price, but their ergos are some of the best ergonomics of any knife brand out there right now. They are killing it with the ergos. Every one that I've got back there, whether it be the Pocket Monster, what is the other ones, the Walleye, all the ones I got back there, they all feel great in hand, including this F1. It's a great slicey knife, great to beat on. Look how thick that blade stock is. 1095, again, another 1095 knife that you can chop, beat on, stab, pierce, poke, whatever. It's got a blade big enough, a 4-inch blade, so you can do a lot of stuff. This is a very versatile blade. This is coming in right around $62. I think it's $61.99 on their site. All these will be linked. This knife right here is probably, this is the, I think, the most well-rounded for EDC compared to hard use. This, I think, is the best just flat out EDC knife with the best ergos. I mean, each one of these knives have their own thing. This is the best one for price, not best one for price, but this is the most affordable one. If you're really wanting to save as much money as possible, you can get this and get the job done and save as much as possible. Each one of these knives have, this is the toughest of all of them. Not the best ergos, but it's the toughest by far. So each one of them have their own thing. This is probably just the best all-around EDC knife of the bunch. So if you're wanting a really good EDC fixed blade for $62, go with this one. This is a fantastic option. But if you do find yourself in a situation where you need to beat the tar out of a knife, baton with it, you've got a 2x4 and you're trying to cut a knot out of it or something like that, go for it. If you're trying to, do a little bit of chopping, whatever it is, this knife is going to hold up well. I think this is going to be a really, really good knife. EDC knife that you can put into some very, very hard situations that's going to shine. And the price is a great price. All of these knives have their little it factor. I think this is a cool one. Best name recognition, ESEE, the Izula. Just all of them have something going on for them, but they're all good options. And any of these would make really good beater knives that you could beat on. There are a ton of different options out there. You probably have some that I didn't mention. I've got other knives. I just didn't want to make it an hour-long video. So there are tons of fixed blades that you could beat on. You need a really good blade steel. You need it to have a thicker, basically just a thicker blade stock. You just, there's a couple things that go into it, yeah, there's some good options out there right now. And also remember, I'm trying to keep these prices as low as possible. So all of these are good options. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what knives you think are great options for beater knives in the fixed blade realm. But really quick, I want to end up by talking about this right here. This is Brad's Toxic Dark Horse. Now, Brad has done a lot of Cerakote. That's what they do, Björkels Cerakote. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm saying it wrong. Björkels. I don't know how to say it. But he does a lot of good Cerakote work. When we had the big Blade Walker giveaway, he sent a knife that he had Cerakoted, and it was gorgeous. And he started to make these knives. Now, these are really, really cool. He uses this layered wood right here. Now, this is the green and the gray, and it looks fantastic. The person that I know in the community that ordered two of his knives has a red and a blue. A red layered wood like this and a blue layered wood like this, and both of them are gorgeous, he said. The jimping is super nice. I mean, I love the jimping on this. Feels great. All around. Now the sheath is a pancaked Kydex sheath that's really wide, and it has two belt loops on it here. Nice. I was wondering, why does he have it so wide? But then I saw the belt loops that he's using. Now you could take those off, and you could use a an ulti clip or something and shave this down if you wanted to. I don't do that type of stuff to my knives, so I would just keep it like it is. I am sending this back to him. This is not my knife. I'm sending it back to him. It has a good drop point that's verging on a clip point, but it is a drop point blade. Very sharp piercing tip. Now, he is doing a Scandi grind on his knives. Now, this one is one that has been viewed and sent around to look at and stuff. So this has a few nicks and dings on it and stuff that I noticed when I got it out of the package that he sent to me. You could tell there's a couple marks here on the edge where it's just been looked at, checked out, reviewed, probably dropped or something. I don't know. But overall, just a really cool knife. Now he's using 1095 blade steel on this. It has an overall length of 9 inches with a 5-inch blade. Just a good looking knife. Now this is a custom knife by a custom maker. Now here's the thing. I have TKLs back here. I have Bradford Guardians that are coming into that, $200 to $250 price range for TKLs. For Bradford Guardians. But the thing is, those knives are made in batches where you're buying a knife they're making a batch of 1,000, So the cost of manufacturing and the machining and everything else that goes into that, sorry, they're in there being wild today. I'll go play with them here in a minute. It's distributed, and they still have prices that high. when you're dealing with custom knife makers that are dealing with smaller batches and they're doing everything by hand, they don't have the big machines like all these big knife companies and brands do. Everything that they're doing by hand. That is a lot more time that goes into the knives. That is a lot more handmade feel that goes into the knives. You'll deal with blemishes and imperfections on some knives that you won't see on others because that is a unique handmade knife. And those are usually really sought after because they're really cool, because somebody's put their time, blood, sweat, and energy into those knives. And Brad is doing exactly that with his knives. He is taking these knives, he's putting his heart and soul into them. He is making some really cool knives that are his own. I couldn't make these knives. I couldn't do this stuff. He is, and I'm telling you right now, he's going to go far. He's going to get better and better and better. He's got a ton of different, well, I don't know how many versions. He probably has 3 or 4 different knives available right now, and I think they're trying to come up with other different types of models that they can put on their site as well, so they can have more to offer. I don't know exactly where the prices are. Go on there, check them out. If they're for you, order one. Support a member of the community that's starting his own knife making venture, being passionate about it, and we can support each other. If they're not for you, hey, share his website. Tell some other people to go check him out. Share it on your social media. Share some pictures. Like his stuff. Go follow him on Instagram, YouTube, and support him. Show him that you're supporting him, you've got his back, and you appreciate what he's doing, because we need people like this in the community. Good people making really good knives and putting their heart and soul into it. And you don't know. One day, very soon, he might be as big as TKL or Bradford or any of these other knife brands, and you will have one of his very first knives that he made. So these things are really cool. Go check him out. The Toxic Dark Horse. The sheath, not the sheath, but the handle is gorgeous. I love that green layered wood. It is beautiful. Yeah. Does a good job on fit and finish. Again, they're not perfect. He's an individual knife maker. I think he has a person or two that helps him or something, but he's working on these knives. He's making these knives. So go check him out. He's got some really cool stuff, and get you one. I'm Chris, your professional dad. I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives. And I'm going to go in here and Superman some kids onto some beds because they are being wild. And I guess it's time to go play. It is Saturday. See you guys in the next video. Sharp knives, happy lives. See y'all later.